Now that we know what price elasticity of demand is, and we know how to calculate it, let's see how we might be able to use it. One way to use the price elasticity of demand is to predict changes in quantity. And if we have the values of 2 of the 3 variables in any formula, we can always solve for the third one. So remember that the elasticity of demand is equal to the percentage change in quantity divided by the percentage change in price. So if what we know is 2 of these 3 variables, so suppose we know what the elasticity is and we know what the percentage change in the price is, we can calculate what the percentage change in quantity demanded is. Right? So that's going to be the percentage change in quantity demanded is going to be equal to the percentage change in price times the elasticity of demand. Now let's see how we might use this formula. Once we know the percentage change in price and the elasticity of demand, we can calculate some very interesting outcomes. An ongoing policy objective of the federal government in the United States is to reduce smoking by teenagers. In 1997, there was a settlement that was reached that increased the price of cigarettes by about 62 cents per pack. This is a 25% increase in the price. So we know that the percent change in the price equals 25%. Now the demand for cigarettes by teenagers is elastic, and the elasticity of demand for cigarettes for teenagers is 1.3. Therefore, if we know that there's a 25% change in the price and that the elasticity is 1.3, if we multiply these two numbers together, we're going to get a 32% reduction or change in the quantity demanded of cigarettes. So this is going to decrease the quantity demanded of cigarettes by teenagers, and we can put a quantitative number on the decrease. Another reason you might want to look at price elasticity is if you're a business and you're trying to figure out what your total revenue is. The total revenue is the money a firm generates from selling its product. How much money comes in when you sell a good or a service. The way to calculate total revenue is to take the price per unit and multiply it times the quantity sold. And so how many are you selling and at what price? Multiply the two together, that gives you total revenue. So what happens to total revenue if the price of a good or a service goes up? If we look at the demand curve, we can say if you're selling this good and you were originally charging this price and selling this quantity, there's good news and bad news if your price goes up. And an increase in price means you have to slide along the demand curve to determine how much you can sell. So we can see the good news is the price of everything you're selling is higher. The bad news is you're selling less. So what's the impact on total revenue? The effect on total revenue depends on which is bigger. Does the price go up more or does the quantity go down more? And it all depends on whether elasticity is greater or less than 1. And suppose the elasticity of demand is 2.0, so we have an elastic demand. Well, in this example, when the price goes from 10 to 11, you've had an increase in price of 10%. So for an elastic demand, and one with a price elasticity of 2.0, an increase in price of 10% is going to reduce the quantity demanded by 20%. So if the quantity was 100, it's now 80. Total revenue goes from 1,000 down to 880. Remember, to calculate total revenue, you just multiply the price times the quantity. So total revenue falls for an elastic demand. What about an inelastic demand? If the price elasticity is 0.5, here we've got a 20% increase in price, but only a 10% decrease in the quantity demanded. So we can see that total revenue is going to rise. So when we look at the effect of a change in the price on total revenue, we need to know what the elasticity of demand is. for an elastic demand, or one with an price elasticity greater than 1, an increase in price is going to decrease total revenue because the percentage change in quantity is larger than the percentage change in the price. Remember, elasticity is calculated as the percentage change in quantity divided by the percentage change in price. So if it's greater than 1, the percentage change in quantity is greater than the percentage change in price. So if the price were to fall, total revenue rises. Now for an inelastic demand, one where elasticity of demand is less than 1, now the percentage change in quantity is smaller than the percentage change in price. So if the price rises, total revenue is going to go up. And if the price falls, total revenue is going to go down. Price elasticity and elasticities in general are a very important concept to understand when we're trying to predict what's going to happen to total revenue, what's going to be the effect of policies, or how is a change in one variable, in this instance the price, going to affect another variable, again in this instance the quantity demanded.